All right, excellent. All right, coming back at it with some more attempts at finishing off this problem I've been trying to actually work on. For those watching, thanks for joining me and watching me do the stream. I actually had a hopes to do this on Wednesday, and just everything that's happening. I've had a lot of issues with like Comcast having some weird bandwidth things going on. So like I'll just have like basically almost as if my internet was being throttled pretty painfully with no notification on what's going on. So they've had status updates they put up previously in the last couple weeks, but I did not see anything on. Sorry, I was saying Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. It was Monday. And my daughter's singing Frozen in the background. She is a big fan, as I mentioned before in a previous stream. So hope you enjoy that music as well as the music I have playing in the background. And let me just jump into this. We'll call this the late stream. Roughly 4 p.m. That's when that was the goal for this getting this started. I didn't want to throw out. I think I had the Spotify playlist here. No. Oh, here we go. Should be the right one. Is this the right one? All right, this is not the right one. So let me update that real quick because my template's that's what it is. I updated the last issue, but I didn't update the template. So I'll do that. If you weren't aware, in the .github folder, you can actually set up issue templates. You can also set this up in your settings as well. It's probably too big. And schedule stream. Oh, real quick, I'm gonna go open the door for my daughter. Scheduled streams. I imagine in the future I'll probably have like different types of scheduled streams down the road. The reason why I switched up the playlist is because I wanted to be able to have this playlist talking and copying and pasting at the same time. It's challenging. Yeah, so I'll update that there on the template, so it's always going to be right going forward. This was the old library. It seems like a lot of these songs have been turned off. I'm not sure if they just got flagged for copyright or whatever it was, but ended up only being able to play the one song the whole time. So I switched over to this playlist, which I dropped it into my my last stream, which was last Friday. Yeah, so I'm going to drop that right there. Also, I think do I have the Twitch chat open? Yeah, so the Twitch chat should pop up if anybody does comment while we're on the stream. Yeah, it should just take over the screen a bit. Should be fine. I'm trying to experiment. Hopefully, I'll in the future I'll probably take myself off the middle of the screen once I get some time to work on Photoshop and some elements within the screen. I actually thought I would have had way more work done around the streaming and stuff like that goes. I did have a really good, successful Friday night stream when I had the interview. Me and one of my coworkers, we tested the Zoom stream. The only thing, yeah, here we go. Yeah, the only thing that I realized is that the mic was turned down. So same thing I just did now because I had to go grab my daughter. I just did again. So I'm trying to figure out a way for myself to, I mean, I can see the audio level sitting right there, and I have it in my head now as well. So I need to start, I guess what I need to do is actually make a checklist. So like pre-stream checklist, which I'll do that now because I think, considering that's the second time, probably not the second time, it's a few times that I've struggled with the audio. Check mic level. Also, I need to get a mute switch too as well. I think that's the other problem. I keep turning myself down every time I need to get off mic. Check mic level. Tweet. Check tweet. Social. Content. Yeah, the other thing I need to check out is too, it's like up until just now, this is my first stream, I have said more than just MutualFun. That was like the predefined text that I just never updated. And the final thing is check GitHub dashboard. And that's like a little cue for myself to not share any sensitive information. So I'm going to create that. I'm going to call it checklist.md. And we'll just go with that. All right. So I'll link that in my template in the future too as well. Just make sure I don't forget that. Let's see. Actually, let me just go ahead and throw it there because I say a lot of stuff and I take a lot of notes while I'm streaming, but I continually forget to add stuff. So let's see. I need the feedback. I did want to automate feedback, but I got a little stuck on. Let's see, run a show, call to action. There we go. Sweet. All right. Yeah, and people want to keep me honest too as well about this whole checklist. That I'm pretty sure that will grow. But for this issue, and apologies, I'm just gonna continue to spend all my time here in my setting up the stream. That was what I was gonna do on Monday, is do more behind the scenes work, but not behind the scenes of setting up MutualFun. And let me see. Also forgot to share the rest of my screen. Here we go. Checklist. Pre-show checklist. Just make sure that shows up every time. Well, it's already gonna show up every time. I'll continue. It's gonna be a living doc, so I'm always gonna have to check mic level, check 1 2 1 2, check. I did out the tweets, and there's no GitHub dashboard on my screen at the moment. Not that there's like any like huge sensitive information that I could potentially share, but it's always nicer to not have that all the pings and the lab GitHub lab stuff going on, which is our staff tools, the way we sort of ship out features before anybody else can see them. And since I'm going to spend a lot of time using GitHub on this, I should make sure that it's all kosher what I'm showing. All right, so yeah, so if you're here, feel free to smash that star button and hit the subscribe. I'm also gonna start pushing more people to Twitch. I think Twitch is the place where community is probably gonna grow. But when I talk about things like engagement, I think a lot of engagement probably is gonna come through the Periscope. And I think that's just sort of natural, that more people follow me on Twitter to sort of engage right off the bat. I'll pause that because that's going to be very annoying. But what I'm getting at is that I would really like the sort of community to grow here, because I think this is a place that it would be useful to grow. There's already existing, what do you call it? features that help build community around streaming. So it seems like it's a better place than the straight up Periscope. But I'm open to suggestions. So tell me I'm wrong, and then we'll figure that out. But yeah, so come here if you wanna chat. Also feel free to hit me up in Periscope. I also remember I don't have the Restream chat open. There we go. So in case, I think the way it works is I can't actually see any messages that came in before that time. So apologies if you are sitting here in Twitch and you're here to chat with me. Looks like we're good to go in chat though. All right, so I did all that, and that was like all the preamble. Like and subscribe. I'll probably have a lower third or something like that. I do have a lower third, which looks like this. Let's see. This, but it looks like my face is in front of it. Yeah. So that is the logo. If you do design work, I'm probably gonna start contracting for some design stuff too as well. I also realize I need to update this too as well. So that was what I wanted to do on. This is also another thing I want to do on Monday too as well that I didn't get to do. So let's see. What is it? MutualFun. Yes. That is true. All right. How do we want to clone that? What I'm going to do is do a quick clone. I'm a big fan of what's already up on the page. So I think what I'll do, one sec. I think I always get phone calls while I'm doing this too as well. It's another thing I need to turn off phone. That should be another thing I do. Turn off notifications / phone. All right. So literally just did that. Oh man, broke the markdown. Not a problem. Not a problem if you're a professional like myself. Yeah, I'll need to add that to the template as well. Yeah. So I just took in some help on Friday for this. Let me see, a MutualFun. So I don't think I have the latest because I was working in the browser on this. So I'm gonna just grab the latest. It should be pretty straightforward because it is nothing but a static page. So, and I wonder if I can deploy. So I don't have this on I have it on GitHub Pages here. So the way it works is mutualfun.github.io /mutualfun. Yeah, so we made some changes. So if you notice that, like, I can now see myself here on the live version, I can't because it's broken, and that's mainly because I made a boo-boo. So since I haven't switched back to GitHub Pages, mainly because I'm on the fence of actually I'm waiting till Friday. Friday, actually, we're going to be focusing on more of this page. I'm going to meet with Daniel from OneGraph. They'll talk about potential future features of the MutualFun site. He's going to help me out. Big fan of OneGraph. This show is going to be at 2:30, which is a little inverse of the schedule. So normally I do like a Q&A. Well, actually, normally this is my second week, so I was attempting to do Q&A at 2:30, but I'm gonna have a guest at 2:30 instead. So I think the source of truth really will be the issues. So if anything gets scheduled, it will be there. These are sort of stand-in, but I think I'm gonna flip-flop these two. So I'll actually do Q&A at 2:30 and the guest Q&A at 9 a.m. guest at 2:30, and actually this will probably be 9:30 instead of 9 a.m. Trying to figure out my personal schedule and how this works. Also, another thing is my kids are on spring break as well. They're on spring break, so my schedule's been a little weird too as well, because I've done a lot of what do you call it, advantageous things based on me being home. So like we ended up going into the woods and doing a hike, still keeping social distancing intact, but also trying to get energy worn down for the kids. The thing I'm going to do here too as well, I wanted to check to see if this folder is in link to a site. That's correct. Link to existing site, MutualFun. Why am I only seeing like half of my enter site ID? Enter full or partial site name. Apologies if that's too small. I think I'll do site name, which is, I'm not sure if that's the same thing as the ID. But yeah, I'm deploying the Netlify site because there's no build tool or anything like that. It should just go live, and mainly because I don't have this Netlify synced to my GitHub repo. I've actually never had the site synced to a GitHub repo. I'd mentioned this before on a previous stream, but this was always my test site for static drag and drop deploys. So ideally it would just deploy like that, but not sure why it's taking so long. If not, I can just pop over in the folder. Ah, crap. I think it's because I'm not. I gotta delete that. It's the netlify thing. I was in the wrong part of the folder. That's why it was taking too long. Netlify, yeah. So yeah, the Netlify CLI creates a .netlify folder, and I did not want that. So I'll see what happens when I deploy Netlify now. Do this again. Now, MutualFun, more sites. Oh, this is real nifty. So constantly pinging and pulling. Don't think that should take that long though, because there's literally just an index to HTML. Today at, all right, so this is the deploy today, and it's giving me a deploy preview, which I don't want. I wonder if the Netlify dev stuff is all hooked up to this, and it's not actually something I want. So I'm just gonna stick to drag and drop deploys, and drag and drop. Yeah, here we go. Looking for M's. Where are my M's? Here we go. MutualFun. Yeah. So if you missed that, I'm just dragging that, dropping it. Should see a production. Yeah. So that took 3 seconds. Yeah. I mean, there's not really much in the site itself to warrant anything special like that. A couple other things I need to actually change to in the site while I'm here. I need to, and then I don't know how much of the action stuff I'll get done, but I did unblock myself on that too as well, offline. So a couple things is the Twitch. For whatever reason, I made a mistake and changed the name of my Twitch account, so just updated that. I'm gonna update that here too as well. Yeah, that was a complete mistake. I was sort of like seeing what would happen if I changed my name of my account and if I could change it back, and I can't. So now I have, instead of me8robot, it's me8bot or matebot. That's my gamer tag. I go back and depending on what's available or what passwords I remember, I go between matebot and me8robot. And yeah, I'm actually gonna switch that to BDougieYo, but because I changed it, testing, I should have made it BDougie, but yeah, BDougie's not available. Some high schooler actually owns BDougies, but anyway, that's neither here or there. I think I want to change this instead, let's see. Yeah, so I was putting all my stuff onto my personal YouTube, which is great, but also not really. So I'm actually gonna move everything to here, which is MutualFun. How do I get to my channel though? I don't want that. There we go. So I will also update that. And then I'm also going to obliterate this too as well, because all this is going to change eventually. But I just wanted to update all these links because they're all wrong. And then with that being said, I'm going to deploy this to Netlify again. So git add update all links. Just going to push that to master because why not? And then go back to my folders that I had here. Kill this, kill that. Go back to, yeah, if you missed that too as well. Really cool that you just take this, drag it to, take my folder that has an index.html somewhere. Just drag it there and then it's deployed. And also, looks like I'm also publishing, yeah, so now these will work. Oh, you know what, one more thing I forgot to do is I don't want my GitHub. Oh wait, actually I did it. Yeah, MutualFun, got it. Yeah, so everything actually links properly now. Sweet. There'll be more work to do there, but one other thing I need to do is that deploy. You can actually publish this deploy. So I actually locked the deploy to whatever's the last one that's working, and this is mainly because I broke the site trying to hook it up to Git for the longest time. And yeah, it just wasn't really set up for a build tool, so it was trying to run, or it was trying to do something, or something was messed up. So anyway, that's fixed. All right, very cool. All right, so now that all that's updated, and the MutualFun site too as well is here, it's open source. If you are interested in updating or fixing anything, if there's a broken link or whatever, feel free to make changes there. I'm hoping to have way more changes in the coming near future, and including like the logos that I have. They're super generic and not great, but I would love to update those. So I'm gonna update everywhere and just have a better design just in general. But for now, let's focus on the task at hand, which is this. I've been working on this issue. Actually, not this one. It's been I've been debugging it actually, and trying to figure out how to take a list of issues and then only take issues that have assignees. So that's what this does. So I'm actually looking for any issue that has an assignee on it, and then from there I was going to look for activity. So I actually need to start taking issues and looking at if there was any sort of activity. So basically, I guess a comment is the last thing I'm looking for. And I think that I think my approach probably is not great, because I think what I was looking for originally was actually events, and then what I found is that when you look for events, so let me see if I can get back into this code. Yeah, so when I look at my events, what I have is, yeah, my last event is assigned. So what I want to do is do an event and see what happens and see if it gets put in the list, because that's the other thing I didn't really do, is actually approach just to the point where I can actually see what type of events. So now my question is, what issue am I looking at? And the issue I'm looking at is, oh, I only have 2 issues I'm looking at. So I'm only looking at 2 issues that are assigned. So there's one, and then hello test event. Yeah, so my hope is that if there's an event like a comment that happens, that will be recorded. But what I'm seeing though, if I look at this repo events, issue 391, Yeah, so this is this issue. Yeah, so it doesn't look like events is the thing I'm looking for, and this is what I'm getting at, is and it looks like events itself, it's anything that's not a comment. So I think comments are a whole separate thing. So I might have a couple of different things I need to check and how I'm going to approach this. What I'll probably just end up doing is, because I won't actually, now that I found a hole in my approach, I probably won't actually fix it all in the next 30 minutes, because I actually have to jump off in 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, sorry, I'm going to also open up my phone. Excellent. Yeah, sorry, I just joined Periscope just in case. I wanted to actually see what it looks like during the stream. All right, so let me continue down the path. What I'm looking for is actually comments. So I made the wrong assumption in thinking that comments actually have its own endpoint, but it doesn't. It actually has this. Yeah. So there's a new project that that I just discovered. If you didn't know this, if you go to github.com/stars, you can actually see the last stars that you starred. So I saw this project come through, which is the OctaKit REST. It's a better way to sort of search endpoints for things, and I'm going to use it to look for comments on an issue. I think it's probably just /comments on issues, but comments on issue. Okay, cool. So the way it goes, it's actually this. Sorry, I've actually never used it. I just heard about it today. But it's an endpoint. Squirrel Girl preview. Oh, so reactions is another thing. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of things I have to actually think about. So I think because I was hoping to actually make this a super simple approach, I did not want to like go down the rabbit hole, which I probably would have gone down the rabbit hole, because I need to not just think about, when I think about it, what I thought about events, I thought it was going to be, and let me just make this bigger. Oop, there we go. When I thought about events, I thought maybe, okay, if anybody comments on an issue, that's good. I want to know if the assignee, and I want to know, these are the events I really care about. Assignee comments, PR tagged, and I'm not even sure that's the right nomenclature for what that means. One sec. Sorry, I just wanted to tell Alexa oh, probably shouldn't have said her name. I wanted to tell the Amazon device to turn on the light, and so I did. All right, so PR tagged to issue, and when I say that, what I mean is when you tag a PR, sorry, it's not tagged, it's linked. So when I link a pull request, I want to know about that too as well. So PR, the word is linked. So I want to link, whenever a PR is linked, I also want to, I mean, now that I thought about it, issue reaction, because those are also, and not even issue assignee. So if someone comments and it's not the assignee, then I want to know what happened. So maybe actually I'm looking at this the wrong way. Maybe I don't need to look at the issue, but I need to look at the repo level and events created by the assignee. Because I don't know if this exists, but I think this is a better approach. If I just look at the repo and any activity from, any activity from that assignee, they should just pop out and sort of like Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I have an issue, so if anybody thinks I'm doing it wrong, just pop in here and drop me a comment and say, hey, maybe don't go that route, go this route. Because what's probably gonna happen is I'm gonna tinker on this tonight between playing Rocket League, because that's like my new jam. If you have not heard of Rocket League, I probably should actually start streaming on Twitch Rocket League because I already have an account. But repository events is a thing. I have no idea. Yep, it exists. So I want to look at repository events and if I can filter them by the assignee. Oh, okay, this is even cooler. So I can actually identify, so if I want to like not be Dougie, repo, what is it, bot test, owner, be Dougie, bot test, repo, per page, max, this 10, number of pages, results to fetch, it's 1. I mean, I don't think I need to add that because I don't think I'm gonna have that much, but maybe 10 per page. Okay. Do I need a token? Yeah. Okay. I don't want to share a token online, but I assume I can create one and just delete it just for the sake of the stream and testing this. I do not want to use the token that I use for everything. I don't use one token for everything, but the token I'm using for this project. So let me see. Yeah, I might just do this off screen. Yeah, I don't see the value. So let me just create a token. I'll do this off screen, and then I need repository access, then I will figure this out. Redo. Nope, just repo access. I'm really liking the song too. Let me turn this up a bit. All right, so I have a token. Bear with me real quick because I'm going to pop this here off screen, send request. All right. Man, I need to also set up a hotkey so I can get the screen looking nice and pretty. All right. Sweet. All right, so if you can't see that, this is the repository events right now. I have, does it tell you how many? Also, I have no idea if my token's listed in this, but anyway, I'm gonna kill that token after this. Let's see here. Yeah, so I just have an object, gives me a bunch of events, which is good. I imagine I can filter, yeah, maybe just go into repository events to the developer docs. I imagine I could filter by, yeah, if it's giving me the repo, I'm the actor. Filter by if it's an issue, it has assignees, it's an event, it's comment. Yeah, so this is like just an event log. If you haven't messed with events in GitHub API, that's what this is. Let me see if I get more details, because I'm just looking at this straight up the payload, and I'm not sure if I'm getting a lot from that. Events. Yeah, and it's like hopefully in the future, I don't know, in the future, all these solo streams that I'm doing, this MutualFun Live, it would be super beneficial if I had somebody who knew more sort of coach me through this rather than sort of struggle and read documentation with everybody. But also, this is my time, so I don't know. I'm on the fence on how often I bring other people in on these Monday, Wednesday streams. All right. Why is is it? Can I not see an event? Or is that repository events? I assumed it would have been listed up here. Listed repositories as a user. Okay. Okay. So I'm in the wrong endpoint too as well. So I guess user repo. Yeah, so I guess that's what I was doing. But the weird part is when I pulled the events last time, I didn't get that much information. So what's the difference? Yeah, because if you look at here, I'm getting one. Oh, I'm getting an event per issue, not per repo. Okay. That's what I'm doing. Sorry. I'm adding this issue thing. I don't want this. I want minus this. So that's what I'm looking for. But repos. I'm just gonna fly blind and see if that works. No, that's not it. Here we go. OctaKit rest. All right. So I'm still going back to OctaKit rest. Back to the site where I have repos. Here we go. And I want events for this. This must be a better way. Honestly, I never noticed the search bar up here. Why is it? Oh, and I think I'm always thrown off by this page and being able to find what I'm looking for. I always eventually do find what I'm looking for, but I tend to just get lost in the sidebar and setup, and not sure if it's just me. No worries. All right, here we go. Side note, this is a really cool API. If you're working with actions and you want to trigger an action outside of repo, repository dispatch event, we use that pretty heavily for the GitHub hackathon, which just ended yesterday. So it ended at 12:01 this morning. So super happy about that. That also took a ton of my time. Also part of the reason why it was hard to get the streaming stuff more consistent, because I would always have to do some random code or fixes for that. Because yeah, this took a lot of work. I don't know. Repos.events list. Okay. Oop. So events wild. Can I do events? I don't know. OctaKit. Okay, now I'm gonna just dig into the. I'm done. All right, OctaKit rest. Yeah, if I get lost on that page, then I tend to always just go directly to the code, because I can sort of thumb my way through. Is this the right one? Yeah. JavaScript That's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't remember this existing, so it looks like they sort of kicked off. What I'm normally looking for is just the endpoints directly in the code. These generated endpoints. These are auto. So yeah, that's probably not gonna help me. Yeah, so I'm trying to list the public events on a repository. Should be pretty straightforward, but not sure why. This list of public events for the user, the logged in user. I don't want per user, I want for repo. List events for users, list events. List public events. That's a name right there. List public events for repo network. I think that's what I want. All right, and it's also under the activity namespace, which I would have never figured out. Let me not obliterate this real quick. Let me just copy that and pop this over. Yeah, so because now that I sort of outlined what I'm looking for, let me see if 1, 2, and 3 could be, well, maybe 1 and 3 could be captured from that way. And then issues definitely has a linked, that has an endpoint for linked PRs. So that's an easy check because I already know how to do that. But when it comes down to this, I don't know how to do it because I've never messed, not to this level, I've never actually messed with events. And I think it's just, was it just a repo? Yeah, and again, I took this out of, I didn't already explain that, but I mentioned in the last stream that I took this out of the GitHub issue because I was running this directly in a GitHub action directly and just looking at the logs over and over again, and it was just like a slow debugging cycle that ideally if I knew exactly what I was doing, I could do it really quickly, but because I didn't know what I was doing, it was just like a very not exciting stream every time I got on. All right, so it looks like we can get the list of events for the repo, public events, and it's probably gonna be a ton. So I'm gonna look back at here if we could filter these events. Can we filter these events? Enable for GitHub apps. Yeah. If you want to get a stream, I guess if you build like an app, we wanted to get a list of the events for just a repo or a notification. I'm not sure if you want to do notifications for this or use the notifications API, but my thought went notifications, but probably not. Probably don't go that way. So the event actor is probably what I want, but the question is, it doesn't look like I can add an actor in the filter. Just real quick, filter GitHub API events by actor. Based on what I'm looking at, I don't think I can. But sometimes I get lucky and someone writes like a Medium or a Dev2 post. Yeah, so I'm just looking at the Stack Overflow question, and this is looking at commits, which is not what I want. Yeah, so I think maybe I might have hit a roadblock for a network of repositories. Yeah, owner repo. I wish I had like more details on this endpoint. We delay public events feed by 5 minutes. Okay, cool. Public goods API actually occurred at least 5 minutes ago. All right, so, which is not a big deal. I don't really need to know if somebody did something 5 minutes or sooner than 5 minutes, because I'm gonna try to ping this once a week. That's the goal for this project, is to once a week ping existing issues if they have an assignee. Yeah, so I might even I've trailed late a bit, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to grab a list of issues, and then from those issues I want to list the events associated with them. But as you could see, comments are not an event. So assigned is an event. Closed and open is an event. But if it's closed or open, that is not a big deal. Also, I wonder how much time do we have? We have 5 minutes. So I think what I'll do is do a quick test, and I will create a PR in this repo and then tag issue 391, and I'll give it 5 minutes to probably give it 6 minutes. So let me create a new file or do something trivial. I tend to always write foo.js, okay, because I want JavaScript. I'm gonna create a PR. Oh, it already exists. All right, so it's my test repo. I just tend to do the same thing over and over again, and I just got caught. So no worries. Excellent. 391 pull request, and that should create an event that potentially is called like a linked issue. Actually, the inverse is going to be linked pull request. I have comments, which I can. So I'm probably gonna end up just doing. If this path doesn't work, or this path doesn't work, where I just get a general events and filter, which I don't think I can, then I'll probably have to do 3 separate hits. So I'm getting the list of issues. From those issues that have assignees, do the 3 steps. So check for comments, check for linked PRs, check for reaction, and then if none of those things have a hit, then they will then have a so it's going to be like a long conditional. So if comment from assignee, proceed, write some pseudo Python code. If PR, yeah, maybe it's a case statement, I don't know. If PR linked, proceed, that's probably the first one I look for, because if there's code already associated with it, then that should be in a whole nother system. Like that should just be, hey, PR is open, what else needs to be done, please. Okay, if PR linked, then proceed. If comment from issue, it's not proceed, it should just be stop. Yeah, so these are all basically stop cases. Yeah, which is why it should be probably a case statement. And then if there's a reaction, which it seems like that's in developer preview, which is gonna, if you're familiar with developer preview, the way we do that. So because I remember Squirrel Girl is so rememberable, I would add Squirrel Girl here, because that's in preview, which is being able to see issue reaction. Issue reaction, then I would go ahead and, so if assignee actually, I want to check that the assignee actually does the issue reaction, then proceed. If all else fails, the default case would be comment stating, hey, are you going to work on this? I don't know. But yeah, this is the path that I'm sort of trying to head down, but I'm sort of hitting the roadblocks and understanding if I should be looking at this or continue down this path where I'm just looking at just the issues. Now, if I was able to filter this, this would be pretty much golden. Like I could filter all events happening in an entire repo based on this person. So if this person opened a whole nother repo or started another PR, actually, this doesn't even seem like the right path, because if they open another PR or comment on a whole other different issue, then I don't think that's a legitimate like path, because they could just be distracted on something else, or they could be legitimately working on that or working on a bunch of things. I don't know. Or that issue could, yeah. So anyway, that issue could be held up on another issue. So maybe I didn't think through this entirely, but it has been 4 minutes, so I'm gonna see if I can get my events, because I definitely can't filter. Yeah, it'd be great if I could just be like actor, this person, because this is the person who I'm concerned with. I want to see all activity that this person's done, but if that's not gonna work, it's gonna fail. Actually, it's gonna pass, but it's not gonna filter anything. It's the same data, because that key does not exist for that endpoint. So then, what my next step would have been is look at Y, which is just the issues that have assignees on it. I've done that in the first in X, and then Y is going to do that. And then, because it's only been roughly 5 minutes, I'll give it another minute. But I am going to start winding down. So while I'm waiting for that to sort of see if I get an assignee, actually, while I do that, I'm actually going to just look at PR issues. I think issue events, issue comments, issue label, issue timeline. All right. How do we look at link? I don't know, honestly, how linking PRs look. So I think the way this will work is that I go back here, look at this data. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm gonna do something real quick. I don't want to see the events now. I want to actually see just the issue data and see what comes back, because I haven't done that yet. Because I think the linked issue, sorry, the linked PR should show up in that data, in that payload. So let's see. And that's not the, I think it is still issues. No, come on. So my path to success would be, click on issues. I just want to get the one issue. Oh. Directions, issues. Don't want to add assignee. Why are these all? All right. Well, yeah, that was my path. I think what I need to do is just turn up the music and just focus on this for a bit. But I'll have to cut the stream for that, because I'm still working on how to talk to myself while streaming and not get distracted. I don't want to list events. So I'm getting super thrown off on the data that comes back in certain situations. One other place I'll check is get an issue. Should be issues, issue number. Yeah, so I'm just trying to see if I don't, well, so there's a comments endpoint, I know I can get that. There's events endpoint, I know I can get that. I think I have everything I need to know. The assignee, assignees, milestone, nope. think it's pull request. Yeah, that must be the linked pull request. But I can go back and forth to figure that out because I already have the data ready for me to test it out. Also, I should really just write tests too as well, but I don't know. Testing third-party APIs has always been not a thing I do because I don't think it's necessary, but I can mock a bunch of stuff based on this data. What I have been doing is taking this payload here and then making a test mock and yeah, working with that just to keep myself sane and not build it from scratch because this is everything I need. Yeah, so I think that pull request here thing we'll be able to check for, what was it, number 2? And honestly, I should do this in this order. Yeah, because issue reaction and PR linking, it seems like that data is going to come from the same spot. So I think this entire stream, what I've done is I spent way too much time on trying to check this. Actually, I spent way too much time in the beginning just talking through just the basics of what I wanted to talk about on Monday because I couldn't stream then, and then I jumped into this. But I think what I'm going to probably just do is just crank through this and fix it offline, and then come back and just be like, hey, I fixed this, and then move on to something else. But I think I have a path forward where I'm just going to check these 3 events. If those 3 events they don't fail or they don't stop the case statement, then I'm going to add a comment that says, hey, please provide update or whatever. So that's the hope, and that's the project I'm working on GitHub Action. If you do want to follow along, I am in bot test repo under bduggy. I haven't really linked that anywhere as well. Not sure how necessary it is, but so basically working in to create a GitHub action that checks in with assignees. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I mean, it's not bad. I don't know if I would have spent normally like 3 hours on, because that's my 3rd time approaching this. 3 hours on this action, but this was a good path to sort of figure out the cadence of streaming and etc. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bounce off, but I'm also going to add a link here because I was writing in the entirely different issue. So yeah, so if you're interested, we did spend some time fixing the MutualFun site on Friday, so now you can actually see the stream when it goes live. On Friday, we will go ahead and make some updates to this site. So I look forward to that. Looking forward to that. And what else? I will have a stream. I will have this stream posted here. So yeah, cat's out of the bag. I actually stream 2 places at the same time. It's not kosher if you're a Twitch affiliate, but I'm not a Twitch affiliate or plan to be. So I'm just putting that there because it's a great place to archive stuff, because Twitch doesn't really archive past, if you're not an affiliate, they don't archive past 2 weeks, but that's probably way more information than you really care about. Please give us a star on the MutualFun Live. If you have any issues, questions, comments, concerns, hit me up on Twitter. I'm bduggyo on Twitter. You can find that at the site we were just looking at, or you can just pop in here and just open up an issue, and I'm happy to chat about it. All right. With that being said, thanks for watching me hack.